Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of RGB Talk. I'm Tony Reyes.
I'm William Mawazi.
And today we're talking about Captain America, Civil War. Alright, so, let's start off. What did you think about the film in general?
I thought the film was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Marvel stuck to their formula: action, a little humor, and drama. So I like to talk about like the characters. I like how they introduce the new characters.
Yes.
Especially like how they start off with you talk about Black Panther, but also with Spider-Man. I know like he's been like, a lot of fans have been dying like me to see him join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I like the way they did it, where it's that they didn't really try to rehash his origin story.
Yes.
For the umpteenth time. So we're pretty much bored with that. So I like the fact that, they already established he's already been this, like, novice hero for like 6 months, from what I got from the dialogue. So, and it kind of merged what happened with the Miles Morales Spider-Man also.
What do you mean? I don't know much about that storyline.
When the Ultimates, it was Nick Fury that approached Miles Morales. And that's how he got his suit. So. Oh,
really? I didn't know that.
So,
okay.
Because Miles Morales is like a 13-year-old kid, something like that. So, when he got his suit, he got it from S.H.I.E.L.D. or Nicholas Fury. So it was kind of like a mixture of different origins in one. They're both Spider-Man, just two different Spider-Mans. So I thought that was interesting the way they did that.
I thought it was pretty cool too, because you're right. I'm tired of watching a film of Spider-Man's origin story. I don't want to see it anymore. We get it. We got the idea. And the way they kind of fast-tracked it in this film, where you had Iron Man come and, Tony Stark pretty much gave him the outfit.
And it macking on his aunt.
Exactly, right? That was kind of cool, though, because in that world, it kind of explains it. Like, how can he design such an amazing, I guess, uniform, costume as you go for Spider-Man? I'm like, well, Tony Stark can do something like that. So that was pretty amazing, pretty clever how they introduced his story without there being, I didn't have a problem with it at all. Another thing I liked about Spider-Man, I liked the actor. I don't forget his name.
Tom Holland.
I don't know the kid, but he was good. He reminded me of a young Michael J. Fox.
Well, he's supposed to be, a teenager.
Yes.
And from what I understand, he's like 19 years old. So he's closer to the age than the previous actors, and especially with the first one with Sam Raimi, which I love his films too. Tobey Maguire was almost 30. So it's a big difference.
Oh, good point. So, okay, so that's Spider-Man. What did you think about the story in the film?
Well, I like the story and the twists and turns it gave when it came to the drama between Captain America and Iron Man, Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, especially with this whole thing with Steve Rogers trying to hold on to his past in a sense. So nobody really, from what I saw anyway, nobody really talked about the fact that he's trying to preserve what he knows.
What do you mean?
Well, Peggy Carter, she already passes away.
Spoiler.
Sorry. And so that kind of, I think, feeds into him wanting to believe in his friend, even though he wasn't quite sure if he did it or not, to be honest. So he still wanted to help him because, everyone tried to end his friend. They weren't trying to capture him. So, I feel like he was trying to preserve a piece of what he knows from his past in the present.
Yeah.
Because after his love interest, Peggy Carter, passes away, the only person he knows in that time frame is Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like in a way, it's like even when the actor talked about playing the role, he was saying that he was being a little bit more selfish in his needs in this film, where before he was thinking of everyone else. This one, he's, doing something more for himself. So it's this internal struggle with him and trying to save his friend, even though, he doesn't know whether he's guilty or innocent at that point, at the beginning.
It's kind of interesting because when I think about all the other Captain American films, he's very straight-laced. He's really about following the rules, black and white. But this film went really gray when it came to him. And Iron Man was more, for working and being under the control of a government kind of agency. Right. And that was kind of a pretty open change, because typically, in the first Iron Man films, he's more rogue, does things his own way. But this one, they kind of changed positions. It's kind of interesting to see that.
Well, but I like, because it kind of feeds into where the first Iron Man picks up, starts off, where because he sees what his weapons are doing to the world and how it's feeding into creating more terrorists, with this collateral damage issue. And so in this movie, it kind of picks up basically where his conscience started in Iron Man 1, where, this time it's not just his weapons, it's his team.
Good point.
And so, when he's confronted by a grieving mother about the loss of her son because of one of their altercations, it kind of makes him want to do exactly what he did with his weapons program. He's trying to do the same thing with the team, where he's trying to, keep it under a certain type of restriction where they're accountable.
I think you make a very good point. I think this film was very different from many other superhero films in the fact that they explored the casualties of all this actions. I mean, we think of other films from Transformers or any other hero film. You don't really... They're destroying buildings, people are dying. You assume people are dying, but no one actually looks into, okay, what happens?
Yeah, the collateral damage. What happens to the people who are affected by these events?
Exactly. And I think this film did a pretty good job of that. I think the only thing about the film that kind of left me wanting more was that I wanted to see, I guess, more things resolved in this film. It started off with the issue of the team doing it as the film goes on. They break up and they fight each other, and there's no resolution there. Bucky, they're trying to capture Bucky in the film, and in the end, he kind of put himself away and suspended animation until they can help him with the issue of have his mind controlled. So that wasn't really resolved. And for me, I was looking for them to move the story of the Infinity Wars forward to some degree. And I guess for this film, it served more as, I guess, I don't know the word, like a movie to help set up other films. I assume the next film will have more action in it, more things will happen.
Well, I think, going back to what you said about the Infinity War storyline, that being, I guess, the next Avengers movie, I think they'll probably pursue that more so in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That's going to be interesting.
So, because that's more of a, intergalactic story. So, and Thanos is in space somewhere. So, I think they're going to touch that in the other film. But as far as this film, I was pretty much okay that there wasn't any resolution, because this is basically a movie reintroducing other storylines, not only with the Avengers what the Registration Act may mean for them.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are outlaws. Half of the team are outlaws now.
Yes, true. That's pretty cool.
So, so with the Captain America and Bucky in the end credits where they're in Wakanda, I think that's going to pick up more so in Black Panther, where that probably be like, I would assume like another Avengers movie, really, like how they did with the Captain America 2 and 3. Yeah. So it's going to be an ensemble cast of the Avengers again, yes. Because that storyline, I think that's when they'll talk about more of the Registration Act, the other members of the Avengers. They're probably all hiding out in Africa.
Yeah.
And so with the protection of, the king, the Black Panther himself, T'Challa.
Yes, that's going to be interesting. So that's pretty much our reviews and thoughts about the Captain America Civil War. Let us know what you think. Other than that, you guys have a great day.
All right. Later.